Hello everybody, welcome to a tutorial, and today I'll show you how to use J buttons. That's basically a button that you click on and then it does something. Right now we've created our J frame. As you can see, it's a window, and we want to add a button to it. So now what we do is J button, example, equals new J button, and then what we put inside of the constructor is basically the text inside of it, or the image inside of it. So let's say this was a J button, then the text, if it was written in Java, then the text inside of the constructor would be help. But we'll just do test. And then if we add it to our window, add example, then we have it on our window. Except it's way too big now. And yeah, so to stop that, do jpanel button holder equals new jpanel, and then button holder dot add example, and then frame dot add button holder. Basically what that's doing is it's making a jpanel, and then to the button holder it's going to add our example button, and then to the JFrame it's going to add the button holder. And I don't know why yet, but it actually does work. So now the button is smaller and easily ready. Later I'll cover how to use absolute layouts, to use absolute X and Y positioning, and exactly how big you want your button to be, and yeah. That's what I use on most of my Java programs, but that's not for today. So to the button, we'll do example dot add action listener, new action listener. Actually, you can just do that, control and space, and then hit enter, and then Eclipse will auto-generate this stuff for you. And then, so yeah, what that is doing, it's adding an action listener to it, so Java can listen to the button's actions, such as if it's being pressed, if it's being hovered over, I guess, maybe. But yeah, pretty much anything that's in between public void action performed will be executed. So we can do system.out.println button is working, because the button is working. See guys, I told you it's working. So yeah, now you guys can add like a bunch of more buttons, but when you do, then things are going to get a little bit cluttered up, because it takes a couple of lines of code to include that in, and then when you have a bunch of buttons it may get confusing. So there is this easy system out of it. So just do, instead of all of this code, just type in this, and yeah, that's about it. It's really easy. But inside of the class declaration, you'll have to do implement action listener. And then you'll need to add a public void action performed, like we used to have to add it. Public void action performed. Action event e. So yeah, this is basically the block of code that will execute anyway. And the good side is you only need one line of code. Over now we can do, just to show you it works, we'll do system.out.println I. So as you can see, it keeps on popping up here because we keep on clicking it. And yeah, now let's add in another button. The more the merrier. See what I did here? I just swapped these things. Yeah, because I'm awesome, guys. Only if you're awesome can you do that. So we'll still add it to the JPanel. Button holder.add. And now what we'll do is we'll also add an action listener. So test.add action. So yeah. Now every time any button is pressed, it's going to execute this block of code. And that's a little bit bad when you have a bunch of buttons and you want each of them to do a different thing. There's an easy way around that as well. Instead of having to make a new class which implements an action listener, or creating a new instance of the class action listener inside of the parameters, there's the easy way. Just do you will need one line. You will need a couple of extra lines though of code. So you do test dot set action command, and then we can put the action command to whatever you want, but be sure to remember it because that's what you're going to identify the button by. So pretty much you can identify buttons by their commands. So we'll set its action command to test, and the example button's action command to example. So example dot set action command example. Okay? And now to identify them, you do if test. That's what you put up here. So that dot dot action command. Then this is a block of code it will execute if you have pushed the test button. That's a way to check if you pushed which button you pushed. So else if example equals so yeah, and then we'll just then test, and then example. Now when we run it, so see example, the example button pushes the test, example, because in the beginning we swapped stuff around. See? Anyway, so you can just keep on spamming these as much as you want, but it will still work. And yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like, comment, and even subscribe, as it really helps out to me. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.